April is C-section awareness month. Did you know that 1 in 3 women will deliver by cesarean section? I'm 1 in 3. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about my birth story and how my whole life was changed when I finally met my son. So I was induced due to low fluids, and it was terrifying to find out from my OBGYN that I was going to have a baby in the next 24 to 48 hours. So I remember getting the phone call from her, and I was like, "You're joking, right?" She's like, "No, I'll see you at the hospital at 7. So that was literally 2 hours before I had to be there. I'm having a panic attack. I'm holding on to my fiance for dear life, crying like, "Oh my god, I'm not ready. I don't want to meet him." And he's just like, "Well, you want to get it over with, right? Like, you don't want to be peeing forever and waking up all the time and having a sore back. So, we have to go through it regardless." So I found the strength. I ate as much as I could have, because then I read online when you get induced, when you give birth, period, you can't eat. Yeah, they literally starve you to death. Not to death, but with the IV fluids, you're starving. All they're giving you is just some saline, some electrolytes. It's disgusting because you pee like all the time. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a food person. I want my food. And if I don't get my food, I'm just real cranky. That's any pregnant person here. So I'm eating. I'm nervous. I'm crying. I'm calling everybody, telling them, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have a baby tonight, or I'm gonna have a baby tomorrow, maybe even Saturday. I don't know when this baby's gonna come, but I'm gonna have a baby. Oh my god, this is mind-blowing. It's shocking." I get ready, pack my hospital bags, double check everything. I have deodorant, soap, pads, everything I could possibly think of. I basically moved into my hospital room for about a week. I get there, and all I could remember is like walking into that maternity ward and just like feeling a rush of like I could do this, like I can totally nail this, everything's gonna be fine. Until the IV doctor came in and was like, "Yeah, so you need an IV." And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You're group B strep positive," which basically means that certain bacteria in the vagina grows rapidly and creates a lot of colonies, so that's not safe for a baby to be passed that way. So I'm under the impression I'm giving birth naturally at this point. So they start me on some antibiotics, some IV fluids. They get me started on Pitocin. I did not have any Cervidil. It's basically like a cervix expander so that I would dilate properly, which is where my problem came in. I was about 18 to 19 hours into labor, and I'm having full-on contractions every 2 minutes, and I'm only dilated to a 5. It was horrifying. I was in pain, but not like, "Oh my god, I'm about to pass out." It's really felt like intense stomach cramps, like if you ate too much Taco Bell and you didn't make it to a bathroom in time. That's literally how it felt. It just sucked. And then they're like, "Okay, so yeah, you're only at a 5 and you're pretty much 19 hours into labor. We're gonna give you a C-section." So I'm like, "What?" They gave me not even 30 minutes to prepare myself. My mom's freaking out. She's praying and hoping everything goes well. And obviously I'm here to tell my story, so I am well and I'm healthy. And then there was just the fact, I'm thinking, "Oh my god, I'm about to be literally spliced and nothing can change that. Like, I can't bring this baby into the world naturally, so I have to go and have surgery." So my fiance, he's sleep deprived. I'm happy as hell with my epidural, and I just remember him wheeling me into the operating room. Yeah, he literally wheeled me into the operating room, and then they were like, "Okay, stay outside until we get her ready." I get into the OR, and all I remember was the guy who did my IV was also my anesthesiologist, so he was putting me under and stuff, and they keep shooting me up with the happy juice. That's what I call it, because honestly, when you're having contractions, like I said, eating too much Taco Bell, not getting to a bathroom in time, that shit hurts. Like, it straight out hurts. But when the happy juice goes in, you feel great. Oh my god, you don't feel anything. You just feel like a nice tingling sensation. And that's about it. So he kept treating me up with some of the anesthesia. And all I remember was it was like 9 shots in. And my OBGYN, she's flipping the knife. And she's like, can you feel this? And I'm like, yes. She's like, okay, describe the sensation. I'm like, dull, sharp, dull, sharp, 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 dull. And she's just like, okay, yeah, that's not good. We've already shot you up with 9 shots of anesthesia. We're just going to have to put you under. So I went under general anesthesia. All I remember with that was they put a mask over my face, and I'm guessing it was oxygen, maybe happy gas. I'm not sure. They also put like a line to my nose here. Again, I'm not sure what it was, but all I know was I'm literally seconds away from being put out completely, and I don't even know what the heck I'm going to expect because this is my first surgery. This is my first anything being done with anesthesia, so I'm like, wow, this is really scary. They tell me, just count back, and soon you'll be sleeping. So the doctor's counting with me from 10, and I think after like 8, I was out. I don't remember anything. Literally, the room just faded to black, and it was just crazy. Like, I was just out of it. Like, I felt so, well, I don't know what I felt, honestly, because I was just out. So after that, my baby was born at 5:37 p.m. on January 19th. His name is Henry. He is the best kid in the world. I mean, I'm pretty sure every parent says it about their child, but he is the best kid in the world to me. He sleeps really well. He eats well. He's at a healthy height and weight. He's a real trooper. Like, we had our fair share of everything going on in the hospital because post C-section, I had a really, really hard time in recovery. Like, extremely hard time in recovery. So I come out my C-section. I wake up almost an hour and a half later, and I see my fiance on the other side of the room holding this little baby like that. And I'm like thinking, holy crap, I'm a mom. I'm a mother. What do I do? I don't even know how to breastfeed. So yeah, I'm just literally laying there, and I'm like, hey. And my fiance is like, hey, you're awake. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like shit. Like, I could barely talk. I didn't even know that they had a breathing tube in my throat, which makes sense when you're under general anesthesia. They have to keep the airway open so you don't choke and die. So I guess the breathing tube is what made my throat feel like crap. And I was just like really, I don't know, I was just like really hoarse, and at first I didn't really feel much, but I just felt extremely heavy. Neil tells the nurse that I'm awake. That's my fiance's name, Neil. He tells the nurse that I'm awake, and he brings the baby over to me, and I look at this kid, and I am like, oh my god, you are so cute. But my exact words were, he's perfect. And I was in awe. I mean, I don't know, like seeing my son for the first time instead of just feeling him in my belly, and we had poke war together. I was physically seeing my son, and it was just the best feeling in the whole world to be like, wow, he's here. He's finally here after having a failed labor, then having to have surgery. It was tough. I didn't know how much pain I was really going to be in until the next day when that crazy nurse came into my room at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Keep in mind, just had my baby at 5:37 p.m. the previous day. She comes into my room and she says, okay, time to get up. I'm removing your catheter and we're going to get you walking. And I was like, what? We're doing what now? She's just like, you'll take your Percocet and you'll feel fine. So I had no epidural. They took that out like after I came out of surgery. They took out my catheter, and I felt like I had to pee for like the longest, but nothing was coming out, and I was like, why am I having this sensation? This is like the feeling of a UTI, but with no pee. Whatever. She gets me out of bed, and I felt like my insides were going to topple over and just like literally just fall out. Like I really thought everything was just gonna fall out. I was so scared, and I'm like, oh my god, she's just like, it's normal, you're okay. I wanted to beat the crap out of my nurse. I was like, this crazy bitch should not just get me out of bed to walk. Like not even to like bring me breakfast or something, but to walk. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I start walking. She takes me to the bathroom because I tell her I really need to pee. But again, when your catheter just comes out, you feel like you have to pee, but you really don't. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I get to the bathroom. I sit down. I did not want to get up. And then I heard my baby crying. So I'm like, oh no. Now I have to be like super mom and like walk over there and take care of him. But I couldn't do that because I'm like, I just sat down in the toilet. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I just sat there, and the nurse goes, wakes my fiance up, who's literally sleep deprived for like 3 days at this point because my labor was just so like, it was just crazy. So he's super tired. He needed to rest. I don't even think he'd been asleep for like 5 hours at that point, maybe even less because the baby was crying during the night. When the baby's hungry, I have to feed him. I couldn't even feed my own kid. They literally had to bring the baby up to my boob to feed him. And I didn't even have milk yet. Like anyone who has milk the moment they give birth is a liar. You have colostrum, and that shit is disgusting because it's like this like sticky, just like gross tarry substance that comes out of your nipple. Like I don't know how babies get full off of that. It's not real milk. Whatever. It's supposed to be good for them, but I'm just saying it's not real milk, and it was just weird as hell having this little creature like have their suction mouth like vacuum attached to your nipple, and it's like, feed me, mother. It was just weird. I did not like it at all. So I ended up formula feeding because I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. And yeah, breast consultants are just weird. I'll get into that in another video. But she wakes him up, pulls the curtain, moves his stuff around, and I'm literally like, again, this is why I said this nurse is a crazy bitch, because I'm thinking, holy hell, she just made me get out of bed and freaking walk to the bathroom after pulling my catheter out like it was a freaking toy. And then she wakes up Neil and she's like, take care of the baby. Okay, newsflash. We just became parents 14 hours ago. I don't even know if I knew what to do. Like, they say maternal instinct kicks in instantly. Bullshit. I didn't know anything what to do. I was like, alright, you know what? I'm just gonna call my mom. Mom, how much is the baby supposed to eat? Mom, does the baby have to burp every time he eats? My mom is like, I'm just gonna come back to the hospital. I'll be there with you. Don't worry about it. And I'm just over here like, what did I do? I'm responsible for this little small person who demands food like it feels like every 10 seconds. It's really like every 2 hours. But by the time they're feeding, an hour's gone by, and then they're gonna eat again in an hour. She's not really sleeping. It's all lies. When people say that having a baby is like this magical time, it's a lie. The first like 2-3 months is just chaotic hell. Like you don't know what just hit you. You're sleep deprived. There is not enough cocaine or coffee in this world that will keep you awake. And I promise you that there is nothing in this world to keep you awake unless you are really rich and could afford a night nurse, or you have someone as lucky as I was to have my mother to watch my baby while I recovered. Trust me, it's hell. There's nothing beautiful about having a baby. You are bleeding no matter which way you give birth. You feel icky. Your boobs will leak no matter which way you give birth. I had a C-section and I was just this like, I don't know, after the second or third day, my boobs looked like basketballs on my chest. It was just enormous and gross and heavy. And breast milk leaks like crazy. And, you know, when you're just sitting there and you're not really allowed to shower because you just got your whole belly cut open, guess what? You start to stink. I'm telling you, there is nothing beautiful about having a baby. So, no offense to the royal family right now. I'm just saying, Mama, we all know you're wearing a maxi pad under that dress. And I don't know how you were wearing heels either, because all I know is no matter how you give birth, whether it's coming natural, that shit's gonna hurt. Whether it's coming from your belly, that shit's gonna hurt. So like I said, we all feel better knowing that she was wearing a maxi pad under that dress and that she's going through the same thing that I'm going through. My point is, having a C-section was the hardest thing of my life. Again, never had any surgeries before. And then you have to suddenly just like care for this little thing. I told you, they're like these demanding little creatures that just need everything. Like they want love, affection, and of course it's what you want to give them. But when you're like sleep deprived, it's like, is this love really going to keep me going? And the answer is yes, it literally does. Because even though he's now 3 months old and he's sleeping 11-hour stretches, which I find crazy that it even happened, and I'm like, whoa. At first, I don't know, like I woke up after like an hour thinking, okay, yeah, he's gonna wake up, see, he'll be fine. And then 3 hours went by, then 5, and I'm like, dude, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, why are you not sleeping? This is the perfect time to sleep. He's breathing, he's fine. But then I'm like, no, he'll wake up now, anytime. He went to sleep at 8 p.m. and he woke up at 7:30 in the morning. So I literally only slept 4 hours because I was so paranoid. Why is my kid sleeping so much? And that's because he's sleep training. Now, I'm not going to promise you every baby's going to be like that because, again, I got so lucky that my kid actually sleeps now. But all I'm going to say is those first few nights that they start sleeping through the night, you will be paranoid as hell. You'll stare at the monitor. You will go in their room. You'll check to see if they're breathing. You might even invest in an owlet just to make sure their oxygen is there and that their heart rate is normal and that they're just okay. Trust me, mamas, you got this. It's not as hard as it seems. It seems frustrating and you don't know what to do, especially as a new mom, but it's fun, it's rewarding. And like I said, the C-section part, I feel like if I had a natural birth, my recovery would have been a lot better. But post C-section, I went through hell on earth with having an infection, having a high fever afterwards. Then I got the flu. And it's like, wow, life really hates me right now. So, to all you C-section mommies out there and mommies to be, no matter how you give birth, embrace your body. Because you're never going to have that same pre-pregnancy body. You might have stretch marks. You're probably going to have a little pooch for the rest of your life. You're going to be tired forever. Your kids could be in their 30s and you're still going to worry about them. My mom tells me all the time, she's just like, you're 20 and I still worry about you. So just embrace it. Love it. Motherhood is far from being only beautiful. It has its ugly days. It has its beautiful moments. It has its, wow, I just got pissed and shitted on 4 times today, and now my kid's throwing up. Nice. What do? Feed him some Pedialyte. He'll be alright. Don't take my advice. I'm not a medical professional. Ask your doctor before you do anything. But enjoy it. Motherhood is a blessing, and it's also very chaotic. So this is my, little birth story, and I will be sharing more with you guys over the next few weeks. So I hope this informed you as much as possible, because like I said, my C-section was a real bitch, and I'm sure a lot of other moms went through it, but that's just my story. So hope you guys enjoyed, and if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and follow us.